For generations, the Penhaligon family of West Cornwall have lived, worked and loved the land of the Duchy. Until, as many before, the mines of Africa lured them to a foreign land.
I was one of the first generation in our family to be born outside of Cornwall. War, poverty and murder were what took my parents to Tanganyika, and this book is our story.
A Mrs. Williams, wife of a Welsh gold miner in Gaeta, somewhere in Tanganyika territory, had been shot. She and an African driver were taking a week's gold production from the mine to a town called Mwanza, 80 miles through tsetse fly-infested swamp and jungle. Dad, like others who read the papers in August 1951, was shocked by the murders. He didn't know how intimately what happened on that lonely bush road in the hours before dawn will be connected to our futures and his own death.
A young boy's chaotic life in a remote, wild corner of East Africa taught him some early stark facts about life: tragedy, vulnerability, danger, arrogance and cruelty. Only the extraordinary sympathy, loyalty and kindness of the local watu saved him from despair.
I was 6 months old when we arrived at Gaeta, which, in the local Sukuma dialect, translates as Valley of Death.
The train journey began in Dar es Salaam. Mum and Dad had bottom bunks and put Becky and me on the top ones. The narrow gauge line headed north and west away from the coast into wild, hot country. For 2 days and nights it struggled and wheezed over ravines, across plains, up forested hills, through valleys of stark aridness and surprising oasis-like patches of verdant green. 48 hours from Dar, the locomotive, tiredly drawing 6 carriages, trundled across the last stretch to Lake Victoria. The African driver was waiting at the station. He was tall and slim, erect, good-looking and late middle-aged, smartly dressed in a light khaki safari suit, and he had a pencil-line moustache. That's how Dad recognised him. Safari suit and thin moustache, the assistant manager wrote in his telegram.
"Hello, I am Fritz,"
he said, detaching himself from a knot of people.
"You are the family Penhaligon, yes?"
This black man spoke English with a strong German accent. There would be time to find out why.
There was only one industry in the region, of hundreds of square miles, the little gold mine to which we went. There were many nationalities employed at the mine. People had come from all over Europe, from other parts of Africa and even from America after the Second World War, and they were all thrown together in Gaeta.
Becky and I were given into the daytime care of an ayah. These were the wives, girlfriends and daughters of African mine workers who supplemented income by caring for European, Indian and Chinese children. One of my early playmates, Lutoli, was the closest. Like me, he was born in 51, though nobody recorded the day or month. My first words are Swahili, which becomes my native language. By 2.5, I swear profusely with phrases and words which would, if she understood, cause Mum to hyperventilate.
Jimu was 5 years old when his father died of malaria. Only men were given contracts to work at the mine, and with his death that contract ended. Under normal circumstances, the family would have expected to leave the country on the next mail ship, but out of respect and in contradiction to the company rules, the mine manager offered Jimu's mother a contract, and the family remain in the house.
Before he dies, Dad humours me by stopping every time we pass where the abandoned car lies. He lets me look and admire her many times. One day, 7 months after Dad dies, Mum speaks to Mr. Snell, the manager, and he decides to tow the car home to our garden so I can see and play with her every day. With all passengers aboard or clinging on, I announce, "We're off!" with a great roar of engine noise, grating gearbox, hooter and collisions with small objects, and the side passengers rock the car. We aren't loud enough to wake our hidden secret passenger. He sleeps through the cacophony. The others have tired of playing and gone off, leaving only Lutoli and I. We survey our limousine. I'm in the passenger seat, Lutoli in the driving seat. I reach and press the knob on the glove box. It falls open. The members awake.
They say there is no history, only biography, the way a particular person recalls an event. I have never been able to escape my early influences or the gaze it gave me on life. When I was sent to boarding school in Arusha, I presented a dilemma to the teachers. A white boy with a black spirit. But I soon befriended others who were, in their separate ways, also outcasts or non-conformers. It was at this time that I learned of the history of Tanganyika and its time as the German colony of Deutsch Ostafrika, which ended in 1918. The courage of the Schutztruppe and its leader, Paul von Lettow-Vorbeck, though massively outnumbered by the British, became a beacon of what can be accomplished in the most adverse of circumstances.
A British biplane first appeared in the colonial war near the mountains of Olderobbo in 1915. It came from nowhere and bombed the Schutztruppe's position. The English had sent tribal spies ahead to tell the people that the aeroplane was a new Mungu, a new god, and that this Mungu would seal their doom. The Mungu was hit in the fuel tank by a well-aimed round from an Askari with a smoky old 71 pattern rifle and crashed into flames. The pilot ran screaming from the wreck with his trousers alight. His trouser fire was put out by a German officer with a blanket, but not before his buttocks were thoroughly singed. The Askaris celebrated, shouting, "Mungu, Nayopa si Mungu!" The new Mungu is not a god. The plane had done damage. A 50-pound bomb had exploded close to the troops. Obstleutnant von Lettow-Vorbeck, reconnoitring the battlefield, encountered an injured Askari lying on the grass, his left arm blown off from the elbow. "Don't worry, Obsti," he said, smiling through his pain. "I have another one. I can still fight."
The 9th of December 1961, Uhuru Day saw Tanganyika gain its independence. The Union flag was hauled down, and in faraway Dar es Salaam, Sir Richard Turnbull, the last governor, formally handed over power to the new government under Julius Nyerere.
In Gaita, a detachment of 200 King's African rifles, complete with military band, marches up and down, rifles sloped and gleaming bayonets fixed. The Askaris wear khaki shorts and shirts, brown leather belts and boots, tightly wound puttees and red fezzes. They look smart and are perfectly in step. Contrasting with the khaki uniforms of their men, the 4 white British officers are dressed in full-length regimental whites, complete with corded revolvers in holsters and gleaming white pith helmets. The European expatriates look on glumly. The minute hand on the big clock moves inexorably towards that which they dread.
In May 1966, 5 years after independence, the gold mine at Gaita closed.
Things move fast. People are leaving each day, heading home to England, South Africa, Italy, the Seychelles, Germany and other places. There's very few foreigners left. I'd hoped it had never really happened. We're leaving home in 3 days. Leaving Gaita forever. Leaving East Africa and the people I've loved so much. I'm heartbroken. Mungu ibariki Afrika.
Speak Swahili Dammit is available to purchase from our website or from the online reseller Amazon. For further information about the book and its author James Penhaligon, visit the Speak Swahili Dammit website at www.speakswahilidammit.com.
Africa.